Viewers out there, is your program Perspective on ITV. On this program, we'll look at a variety of issues with profiling solutions. Last week we were here on the program, and this week we are back here. My name is Chuka Onguha. On this week's episode, I will be looking at two issues. We are right here in the streets of Calabar, of course, the capital city of Cross River State. First of all, I will be looking at the issue of cash circulation. The CBN has said by 31st December they will be phasing out this old Naira note. How viable this is, we'll be getting this from residents here in Calabar. And also, elections have come and gone, and of course, a new government of Prince Senator Otu is coming in, and expectations are high. We'll also be getting these expectations from residents out here in Calabar, the Cross River State. Let's go out there and meet these residents and ask them on these issues. When we come back, the program Perspective will be on.
Concerning the deadline from the CBN, just like before, I have not really seen it. I don't really see it to be very, very viable, because considering the pocket of the cash stress or cash crunch we are still experiencing right now, and we are in April already, and what is the possibility of the remaining 8 months, for we to get it right? It's as if there is still a mop-up of this cash somewhere. Elections have come and gone. We don't know whether it's an act of sabotage or something else. For now, I don't really see it to be achievable. I think the stakeholders really need to still look at it, either to make the cash available, or maybe they probably have to extend the deadline from the way we are seeing things now.
The banks, the customers,
from what they are, paying out, it shows that they are not really giving much. I think 20,000 maximum for an individual. I don't know about corporate entities, but it's very obvious that they don't really have much in stock. And it's unfortunate, or it's surprisingly, that after going back to the old note, we expect this old note that was mopped up to be readily available. No ATM is supposed to be experiencing no money thing. The queues are supposed to have reduced by now, but unfortunately we are still seeing crowd here and there. Some are in banking or trying to resolve some network transaction issues. So the banks are not really giving out much, and the question is, where is this money? Is it with the CBN? Is it with the commercial banks? So I think somebody needs to answer the question.
What about the new note to it? How much of availability of the new notes do you think is in circulation?
It's just not really available. They are very scarce. Let me put it that way.
So what do you think would be the cause of this?
We don't really know. I can't tell. But I think the central bank, if really they want to meet up with this deadline, then they have to definitely print more money. They have to print new of the note. Then they start withdrawing the old note. But since the new note now is not available, so what's the possibility of you meeting up with that deadline of December 31st? So they are still likely going to extend it. So the new notes, as you can see, is obvious. Inside every maybe 10,000 naira, maybe you get 1,000 of the new note. So where is this new note? Are they in the hands of the politicians? Is it back to the central bank? Is somebody starting it somewhere, or are they laundered somewhere? We don't know.
Now let's look at the banks. This crop should be expected. What are the expectations you think for you as an individual for the next incoming administration?
Well, a lot. In fact, the residents of the state are expecting much from the incoming government. There's a problem we have in this country, which is lack of continuity. I'm sure they don't expect him to embark on new projects, but rather to consolidate on that of his predecessor. There are so many abandoned projects here and there that needs to be completed, and especially the Tinapa project. It needs to work. The deep sea Bakassi deep sea project, and maybe other the super highway and all of that. There are good projects, but it needs political willpower. It needs to be funded. It needs to be taken serious. So there are a lot. The people of President State are expecting so much from the incoming government. Even the environment, as you said, Calabar is not as clean as it used to be before. This is supposed to be the nation's paradise. Yes, we wouldn't say the present government have not done well, but I think maybe the incoming government needs to consolidate. They need to do better. We need to take it back to the days of the Donadu. We need to bring back the glory of the state. So there's so much in terms of unemployment. So much is being expected of the incoming. I just pray that God will give him wisdom, to listen and see things for himself, and know how to, maximize the meager resources of the state.
Looking at the
I am hopeful. I'm optimistic that he will do better. Let me judge him by when he was in the Senate. Although he didn't have much, but at least he was able to empower some the youths. There was some kind of empowerment here and there. So now that he's given a greater capacity to function, to work, so I believe he's a gentleman. He's a kind-hearted man. So I just pray that he will do better. We just hope. We hope that above all, he will have a listening ear. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
The issue of zoning shouldn't be the issue, but the issue of competence, experience talked about. But for you as an individual, what should be your take as it concerns the position for the presiding officer for the 10th Senate? As it concerns
Thank you very much. In Nigerian politics, whenever it comes to zoning, maybe for some personal interest or for reason of conflict of interest, you hear some people say zoning is not constitutional. Yes, we know, but in order to balance the equation, in order to have a balanced appointment, I think, from my own opinion, I think it needs to go to maybe the south or southeast. But over the news, we have been hearing, a lot of people saying it's most suitably for somebody or also to the south rather. If you check the history, the southeast have produced quite a lot of Senate presidents. Yes, the power is normally supposed to shift to the southeast. But since unfortunately we have a president from another part of the south, then it's obvious that it needs to go to the south. And when you check of competence, yes, Godswill Akpabio rather, and Ojuzo Okabe are most qualified. But it's left for the party, to decide. But in the spirit of fairness, nobody from the either northwest or northeast or north central should be clamoring for Senate presidency. We need to balance this. No matter how you put it, it's a very sensitive issue. This administration needs to correct some of those lapses, those errors that were made in previous administration. We are so divided, like so many people have said. The country is so divided. We are divided more than the civil war. Like Lamido Sanusi said, and some other persons. So these things need to be taken into consideration. It needs to be balanced. Either it goes to southeast or to the south. That is my own opinion.
And now it's now normal 100 naira the charge, that is 1k. So if you are getting at the rate of maybe 100k, it's 5k. No, sorry, 10k. As I
The POS give you 100k.
no,
How much?
not all.
How much is the limit for POS? How much do you think?
For now, I think 50, 60 for now.
Alright. So what do you think? What do you think government should do about this?
We should just try and make maybe the new cash to be more in use than the old one.
Now, so another thing, apart from that, there are other issues around also. So what is the expectations? What do you think this incoming government can do to make the lives of residents here in Kosovo better?
Okay, like I would just hope we should not replicate the same way Donald Duck did, like cleanliness in the environment. Because we are going down the state for now. Like you see that there's a dump refuse, everywhere is not kept well. Like even my streets, like the way they used to run dump refuse, White House, and South. So like they are not even locking the place. If you see any resident going to dump any trash there, you get arrested, which is affecting. So the only thing we do now is to go and trash it in the gutter, and it's affecting pollution. Like when rain is falling and all that, so we always have water leakage. So it's not helping matters. It's affecting us very well.
So advise the new government. What's your advice for me?
One advice is that you should not put things in place, do the work, let it be good water supply, take on job vacancy for the youths. Because we're all hungry to make money, we're all hungry to work, we don't want to do illegal things. So if you can put that in order, then the state will be clean. We are very okay.
Now let's look at a certain agenda for the incoming government of Kosovo too. Elections have come and gone. What are your expectations as concerns the incoming government?
During the campaign, I saw the poster back to the south. For me, I will encourage the incoming government to take away tribalism. They should also come with the agenda, not having this concept of north, south, or central. They should come with one goal of trying to maybe bring up the state to a better place instead of bringing power to the south, power to the west. It comes with tribalism and they don't work perfectly well.
Environmental degradation. Kosovo used to be a very clean state, but now it's the reverse is the case. What's your take on that and what can be done?
I just believe that the government should do proper orientation, being all citizens in the state, then also putting measures like green police, green sheriff, and also other governments, and then also all the stuff like that. It will really help.
Well, it depends on how willing the government is, because if for you to completely phase out the old currencies, you have to print money currency. So if they increase their printing capacity and they print enough new currencies to replace the old one, then it's possible by December 31st. We still have close to 9 months, 8-9 months, so it's still possible.
But looking at the banks themselves.
Well, I've just been using ATM and it's 20,000 able to withdraw.
Was that your desire? Getting 20,000? Or you wanted to get
It was just,
how much was it?
I think the maximum was from I think for using that same ATM card of the same bank, I think it was 40,000, maybe for GT or so. Because I've not really used ATM much. I've just been using more transfer and maybe POS.
Okay, let me be very plain here. Emefiele needed to understand this cash policy. I want to just say it straight. The policy has failed. Let him admit it and then go back and rearrange himself. I just came from the bank. No new notes. And the queue is stressful. My brother, let the policy be revisited.
So, 31st December deadline, how viable is it?
The new government is coming, you don't know what the man has, so let's wait to have Tinubu in place. Let's wait to have him in place. Tinubu is a kind-hearted person, so I think he will address it.
Now let's look at
the new government coming in, Cross River State, Prince Otu is coming in. As a resident, what are your expectations?
Very high. Please permit me to talk a little about Prof. Ayadi. The man came in and embraced the youth. If you look at the deputy governor today, it's about 40. We are going to have a speaker, 40. If you check the House of Reps members, they are youths. If you don't give him anything, give Ayadi that. And bringing governance back to SAP for equity, fairness, I give him that. But for expectations, Prince Otu has been senator, and if you check the record, the man did well. Calabar will return. I can assure you, Calabar will return. More of those visits from you. You will be coming to Calabar. Calabar will return.
So what are we expecting to see in return?
Those things that used to bring you tourism, neatness of the place. Let me not talk too much. When you come, you'll be happy in Calabar. You'll be happy in Cross River State.
So many places talk about job, employment and other issues. What's your take on that?
Yes, fantastic. You know, there's been this embargo on employment for a very long time. If you check when Cross River State Akwa Ibom had this, you go to Akwa Ibom, I'm here in Cross River State, is dot on the 35 years. So if you go to civil services, it's almost empty. So the government will come and employ new persons. I can assure you, civil service will boom back.
Thank you very much, sir. What's your name, sir?
My name is Nathaniel Ikema.
For the cashless policy, I bought the idea of that cashless policy. Why? Because you can travel to wherever you want to without having bulk money in your pocket. But with your ATM, you can always transact business. But what our challenges is the internet. How the money, like you want to get something to transfer, some money, but when you're trying it will not go. You understand? It will not really go. That is the challenges we have, the internet. You understand? But the policy is very good. So to speak, the policy is good.
So you're phasing out this money by 21st December when support of it? What we have right now. Are the new ones available?
When the new ones are made available, it's okay. If it is possible for us to use the old and the new cash, fine. Just like we had the 100 naira note and the old 100 naira note and the new 100 naira note. You understand? Not this very one. When Jonathan came, So when the old naira note, 100 naira note fade out, nobody knows because we can see it very little. I hardly see the old 100 naira note, if not this one. So that is how I would want this new money to just go like that. You understand?
So let's look at the new government.
Let me start from Donald Trump. When Donald Trump was the governor of this state, people far and near hear about the cleanliness, the goodness because of what tourism. And the next governor came, who is Lea Limoke. He faced the rural areas where he fixed some roads. This one that just started or I don't know what about the immediate past administration. You understand? The immediate past administration he based his
What do you expect? What do you want to achieve?
okay, this one, what I want him to do, I want him to revisit the tourism of Cross River State, the cleanliness. I want him to reinstate the position of Cross River State in cleanliness. You understand? They should bring in companies to curb this unemployment. You understand?
I'm not sure it's not possible for them to stop the circulation of the old Naira notes and bring out the new one. It will affect the whole citizens. Because right now, the one that is even in circulation, the old one, is not enough. And you discover that we are still coming to the bank to still collect the old money. So for them stopping the old one 31st December, it will affect. So I don't see any reason why they should stop.
Yeah, another issue now. Election have come and gone. What, as a young man, what do you expect the new government coming in to do?
What I expect them to do, if you look at the state is not moving very well like this. So many things have gone wrong. Infrastructure that was available now, they are not, the business is collapsing. So all those things. So what I don't believe the incoming government should do.
Incoming government of who? See.
Of Senator Prince Otu. That it should do is that to encourage all these companies bring businesses to the state and also encourage these youths coming up to have something doing, like having more all those unemployment, so that there will not be enough young guys coming up to steal, knocking people's door, all this. So that is what I was.
The possibility of, well, the governor said so. We heard the president said so, and the president-elect Tinubu said so. The government has a way of doing their things. If they said they will do it, just like what happened before the election, where they put people under stress and people suffered and people stopped buying dollar, they were rather buying naira, their own money, and it was a challenge, it was a big problem. Maybe if they should stop the issuance of the old naira note as of is today, maybe by 31st December, without the printing of the new naira note, then the country will be in a chaos. What we experienced before the election would be a child's play. That's what I'm thinking about.
Now let's look at the election has come and gone. The agenda, first agenda for this incoming government.
Every government comes in with its own policy, statement, and what they want to do. But over time, we have observed and experienced that, especially in Cross River State, sorry to say this, I've witnessed from 1999 till date, I think I've participated in terms of voting in the election. The governor of Donald Duke, that of Nia Ilmoke. We have never had it this bad before now. Everybody in Cross River State, just like me, I'm a Cross Riverian by name Francis. We have high expectations. If really the governor will size increase, the governor-elect Prince Otu will do it. Because the outgoing government as it is of today here, I can tell you from the depth of my heart that they have performed below expectation of the masses. Just look at where we have the so-called flyover. I call it corridor. I call it a corridor. That's not a flyover. I took my children, we were traveling through Ebonyi State. I showed them flyover. When we came over here, they told me, Daddy, is this flyover? I laughed. You can imagine that. It's a big challenge. So if the outgoing governor has performed below expectation and Prince Otu is coming in, he has a very big shoe to wear. And we are aware that, according to information, that the governor of Cross River State has a very high debt profile, which the state government has involved. Prince Otu must be up and doing. He must be sound. He must organize men of think tank. He must, right from the first day he will be sworn into office, he must start to work assiduously to make sure that he put things in place. Without that, we have high expectations. We are expecting him to do well. The election has come and gone. Some people vote for Labour, some vote for PDP, some voted for APC. But he is the governor of Cross River State. He is not the governor of APC. So there are high expectations. People are expecting him to do, all those things. The maladministration of the former governor in the person of Senator Ayade. We expect him to size up and do well, bring back Calabar lively, the carnival and other things we do in town. Make the streets of Calabar clean for us to enjoy what we enjoyed before.
As a senator, the people have spoken for is it too much? What is your take on as being a senator and now being a governor?
As a senator, well, actually I've not really gone through his profile to really understand what he did, though he served for just one term, that is 4 years. He's lucky. He's a man who has been a senator. Maybe he has done whatever he has done for the central, for the Southern Senatorial District for his people. But as I said, outside being as a senator, he was just representing about 7 local governments in Cross River State. As a governor, he's representing the entire 18 local governments. So everybody in Cross River State is expecting the best from him right from the first day. Job employment, we don't even need to talk about that. You can see high level of unemployment or high level of underemployment. I hope you know what underemployment is. Unemployment, underemployment. So you need to create jobs. There should be empowerment, not fake empowerment. I'm not talking about empowerment where politicians carry money, put into their pocket, or they project people and then collect the money, like what happened. So we expect him to put people of same mind, people who are sound, people who have human conscience, people who are thinking, so that by the time his cabinet is being organized, they will have men and women, they will be out of the street, not sit in the governor's office. They have to go out on the streets. They have to meet the people. They have to see what is going on so that they'll be able to know really if what he intends to do is going to work out. Because it is the people that gives you the feedback. The politicians themselves may not really tell him the truth. The members of the House of Assembly may not tell him the truth. The commissioners surrounding him may not tell him the truth. Let them go to the streets, meet the masses, just like you're talking to me now. Let people air their mind, tell him what they need to do. The rubbish in Calabar, no, this is not the Calabar we enjoyed during Donald Duke days, not even to talk about Lee Moke. We know what we enjoy, the scenery, the greenish nature of Calabar. The environment very clean, but today you walk around, you see dirt all over the place. So there is much expectation from him as a governor of Cross River State.
Welcome back from those reactions from residents here in the Cross River State, in Calabar, the Cross River State. And of course, I hope viewers have enjoyed this episode of this program with views and reactions from residents here in Calabar. That's all we'll be having on this week's episode of Perspective. Join us and join me at the same time next week on this program. Until then, enjoy the rest of the program. And for me, Chuka